What's going on, collective? Welcome back to the channel, Elev8te Your Energy. It's Jazi, your favorite Cali reader and spiritual consult. So this is going to be the reading for September. I normally don't do, I'm not guided to do like time specific readings, but this one is. And just because this month feels very, I'm hearing monumental. That's not going to apply to everybody, but for some of you, this time period, this month is going to be monumental. It's going to be life-changing, even if it's just like the start, the planting the seed, the like beginning phases. That's what this month is about. So I am going to do a reading for specifically just for Virgos. It's my season as well, so you know, I got to do it. I got to do it, but more so because of the potency that I feel in the energy with this month. That's really the reason why. But yeah, we deserve it, right? So for my Virgos that are watching this, happy solar return. Happy solar return. I hope that those that who've already had yours, I hope it was amazing. And those that have still, yours is still yet to come. I hope that you have the best day. Yeah, so we're gonna get into this, all right? Okay, so I do have a few channel messages, so which don't always come through normal, you know, that is just not always a part of my process, but I do have channel messages for you today. So I will have, as always, time stamped, so you can skip ahead if you'd like, but for those that do want to stick around, I'm grateful for you. Okay, so let's get into this, shall we? I hope my fan isn't too loud. It's my space gets super fucking hot, and especially with my laptop here, light there, lights here, all the heat going on with the camera, the microphone. It's a lot of heat going on. So forgive me, but I needed to stay cool while I'm doing this. So let's get into this. So a few synchronicities and numbers that you might be seeing at this time, as well as dates of significance that may be important to some of you. Okay, so first number synchronicity that I got was 999. Okay, and the 9th of this month, but also the 27th of this month. It feels like can be very important and potent dates for you. Okay, and like I said, this is a collective reading, so if it doesn't resonate, don't, you know, take it personal, because it's really not. But use your discernment. Okay, I highly recommend always setting your intention before you watch any reading to ensure that the messages that you're taking in, that you're resonating with, are actually for you. Okay, so they'll stand out to you, right? So the 9th of this month, as well as the 27th, those could be your, you know, your birthday if you are a Virgo. But otherwise, those dates in itself, just because the 27, the 2 and the 7 reduced to a 9, this is the year of the 9, which is the year of the snake. So there is major changes happening. And it's so interesting because the full moon eclipse that we're having on the 21st is literally the day after my solar return. Okay, so it just feels like I said, this is going to be a really fucking potent month. So also, what I want to get into as well after I get through the channel messages is this reading is basically going to be about what are you being guided to lock in on this month. For me, this is a lock-in month, right? I've also been seeing like posts, you know, here and there about people saying like, you know, the last 4 months of the year, and it's like, don't let that stress you out. Okay, for those who know, you know that the real new year just happened in April. Okay, or like the end of March, the end of March going into April, right? That's the real new year. So we have time. Don't let that steer you and make you feel like you're running out of time, because the real new year just started anyway, right? Not too long ago. So so anyway, don't feel like you're running out of time. That can really be a resistance factor. Okay, that could really create unnecessary blockages by letting your ego think, and also societal norms, right? Societal conditioning make you believe that you're running out of time when that's not the case. Okay, just something to keep in mind. All right, so so the first channel message that I got was course correction. Okay, so some of you may be changing the course, or you're being guided to. There may be things that are falling apart at this time that are kind of like forcing you to change the way you're doing something. Maybe you're being guided to do that, or just maybe the way things are changing at this time, it's kind of guiding you to, it's kind of like the universe's way of helping you course correct. So just keep in mind, if there are things that are appearing to be, to your ego, at least to your human, that are falling apart, just keep in mind that that is sometimes spirit's way of course correcting, especially if you feel like, I've been doing everything right, I've been trying my best, I've been working hard, all those things, right? Do your best to not take it personal, okay? Give yourself grace, but also give the universe grace, right? The Most High. Give the Most High grace and let it show you that, whatever feels like it's falling apart is really more than likely essentially helping, your life fall together in a certain way, okay? Like with, especially those of you that actively know that you've been shifting timelines, you're maybe on a new timeline, stepping into a new version, like myself, a lot has already changed, and I'm still in this integration phase. I'm still in this acclimation phase, right? Of acclimating to the new frequencies, acclimating to the new energies that I'm embodying, right? As well as the residuals of what is, leaving still, what's still lingering and not completely gone, but on its way out. Okay. So give yourself grace. All right. I also heard that things won't be the same after this. Okay. And that's before completion. Okay. So there's maybe some completion that's happening at this time. Okay. Whether it's like a major ending for some of you, there may be something that's leaving, someone that's leaving, something that is, ending, like I said, whether it's like a job, an environment is changing, maybe a relationship, a connection, a partnership of some kind may be changing for some of you during this time. Just know that it's because it's complete, meaning your contract with this person is complete. Okay. You've learned everything you were meant to learn, or you've maybe provided or like done your part in that contract, right? Your soul contract for that experience. You've done your part, basically. You fulfilled your end of the bargain, your end of the contract, and now it's time to move on to the next. Okay. I'm also hearing in this moment, your services are no longer needed here. Okay. So for some of you, if you're being, let's say, let go of at a job or something like that, that's the universe's way of, again, course correcting you, because you're no longer needed there, meaning your services or what you do, your gifts, the way you show up, it's needed elsewhere now. There's somebody else or somewhere else that is now requiring your presence. Okay. So don't take it personal. If you're being let go of, it's not personal, it's spiritual. Okay. Everything that happens in the physical realm first happens spiritually. It first happens in the ethers. Okay. So by the time it starts formulating here, it's because it's already been the works in the ethers before you are actually able to physically experience it in the 3D. Okay. So I also heard repeating confirmations. Okay. So some of you may be getting confirmation after confirmation, like with the 999, you may be seeing that number regularly. Even myself, today, as I was going to the gym, I happened to pass by a car on a license plate said 999. After I got in the parking lot, I saw another plate that said 888, right? And then after I parked and I got a spot right in front of the door, which hardly ever happens, but I was so grateful. I looked at my dashboard. I just, happened to look down at my mileage, and it said 888. And I was just like, holy shit, like, okay, like, I acknowledge those things, even though they feel small in, they seem small on the scale, right? But for me, just the gratitude of, acknowledging it, noticing, right? How the universe is showing me that you have my back. That's something I did ask for this rising, was universe, Most High, please show me that, in big and small ways, that you have my back, right? And I noted all the different ways that I've acknowledged that today, like outside of the normal, gratitude about, having a house, having shelter, having food, things like that I'm always so grateful for. My body, my mobility, all those things, right? My health. But I'm talking about also the small little subtle ways that the universe, on top of all those things, shows you that it's rooting for you, that it wants you to see you win. It wants to see you prosper. It wants to see you happy and joyful and in a good mood, right? It wants to show you, like, even though we're already done all this, we're still giving. We're still showing you, supporting you in abundance. Okay. So it's just a matter of us allowing ourselves to be more receptive to that. Okay. So like I said, you might be getting, seeing repeating confirmations, meaning even if it's through readings, right? or numbers, synchronicities letting you know, like it's telling you, keep going, you're on the right path, keep taking it one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. Okay. So your gut health, especially for my Virgos, Virgo, your gut health is being highlighted at this time. Okay. Whether you're Virgo or not, it doesn't matter. But I'm saying, especially if you are a Virgo, that's an issue that, if for those who know, that's something that Virgos struggle with. Like, speaking from experience. Okay. A lot of people in America do, especially if you are, live in America, in the States. A lot of people do have gut issues anyway, just because the diet and the shit they feed us. But especially for us Virgos who overthink, who, part of the traits that, that do apply, right? We're technically all the signs, but if we, want to go off of your chronological, when you came into this realm, as a Virgo, like I said, we experience those things even more so than the regular person sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So if that applies, take it as it resonates, okay? These readings, again, this is a general, so it's not personal. Don't take it personal. If it's not yours, it's just not yours. But do your best to use your discernment, okay? Take the messages that apply to you, that feel like they resonate, that sit well with your spirit, and let the rest, leave them for who they're meant for, all right? So, but your gut health is being highlighted. So, and yeah, I got to get more into that. So gut health, I got like a few messages regarding the gut health. Okay. So your gut health is being highlighted. So if there's things that you're eating that you shouldn't be eating, or that upset your stomach, things like that, this is the time to really focus and pay attention to those things, because that is also, your gut is where your solar plexus lies. Okay. That is the center of your confidence, of your willpower, your ability to get shit done. That is also your masculine energy. Okay. The sun governs the solar plexus. Okay. So that is your masculine energy. If your stomach hurts, if your stomach's messed up, if you're sick, to your stomach, things like that, you're not going nowhere. You're not doing nothing. Most times ain't shit happening during that time. Right. So that's why that center is so important, which is also why in America, they attack our food so much. Right. Because they're aware of this. So just something to keep in mind. Okay. Something to consider. So I also got sun meditation. Okay. So some of you may be guided to, or this is something to consider, doing a sun meditation. I've never gotten that as a channel message before, even for myself. So I'm not really, certain exactly where spirit is going with that, but you may want to look that up on YouTube to see if there are any sun meditations. I'm sure there are. Or just maybe meditating in the sun, even if your back is to the sun, and letting, that masculine energy support you, let it heal you, right? Setting your intention and how you want the sun to help you, right? Because the sun, that planet also governs the day. That's this day of the sun, Sunday, right? And the sun represents healing. Okay. So that's why a lot of, religions and things take Sundays off, or certain stores are closed on Sundays, is because that's the day of rest and recovery, because that's also the day of healing. So just something to consider, right? So sun meditation, that may be something to look into. Maybe create one for yourself where you're just visualizing the sun, coming in, shining all over you, maybe healing you, or also clarity. The sun represents clarity, truth, right? So if you're confused about something, maybe something's not clear to you, you can also use a sun meditation, or call in the energy of the sun to reveal, to highlight something, to make something clear to you. Okay. So something to consider there. Also, to support your gut health as well, and your solar plexus energy, wear yellow. Consider wearing yellow. Okay. It's obviously a beautiful color as it is, but I feel like some of you may not really, it may not be a color that you're used to wearing, but this is a time to consider wearing it. Okay. Especially if you're struggling with, let's say, like you have an interview coming up or something, right? And you're kind of like, I'm nervous about it, wear yellow. Okay. Because yellow is that again is correspondent with the planet of the sun, which again is correspondent with your center of confidence, right? Your willpower, right? So when you wear that color, that's why I have, you can't really see it here, but I have the red on, right? Because this is Tuesday when I'm recording this, the Mars day, but I also have the yellow to support my confidence, to support my willpower to show up in this way. Okay. So this is how I use, ways that I use, one of the ways I should say that I use the colors, right? That correspond with the planets, because I'm intentional that way. Right. So you can obviously use the same thing. And there are colors that correspond with every day of the week. So when you find yourself maybe low on energy, wear red, right? Because that's the color of passion. That's the color of energy, drive, right? So yes, it can also deal with sexual stuff like that. But again, when you set your intention about how you want these different colors or the planets to support you, then they know how to show up for you, right? So wear yellow. Also got yellow butterflies. So some of you may be seeing yellow butterflies. Yellow butterflies may be of significance. That may be something that you should look out for as a sign, you know, letting you know that you're transforming, things are changing. There could be change on the way when you see the yellow butterfly, okay? Something to consider. And then I also got pre and probiotics, okay? So that's, again, going back to the gut health, right? Some of you may need, I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not at least a medical doctor, okay? So this is not medical advice, but this is just what's coming through channel, you know, messages here that some of you, especially if it's something, I need some water, especially if it's something you've been considering, right? Like if it's something that's been coming up for you, right, already, that I need, you know, maybe I should take some probiotics, or maybe you've been seeing commercials if you watch TV, things like that. This is your repeating confirmation, okay, for some of you, what we already talked about earlier, repeating confirmation that pre or probiotics may be something to look into. If you maybe already have them and you just haven't been taking them, or maybe you've kind of fell off, this is your indication to get back into that, okay? So let me grab some water real fast, y'all. Give me a second, please. Okay. It's all the air going on. It's making my throat dry. So anyway, so next message I got was parasite detox / cleanse. Okay. So that's something that I'm actually literally, I got herbs delivered minutes ago before I started this recording. That's going to go into a herbal parasite tincture that I'm making, right? So some of you, if you are herbal girlies or, you know, herbal dudes, right, this is your indication. Maybe consider making your own, or even you can do it juicing style, okay? Make juice, obviously, for detoxing, detoxing parasites. I personally have been doing tea. Like I've been making my own tea blend with, for example, wormwood, right? I have a big ass bag of wormwood. I have a fuck ton of black walnut powder. What else do I put in there? I also put dandelion in there. Milk thistle. What else? Cayenne pepper, oregano, cloves. Okay, those are just a few examples of things that I put in my tea that help get all that gut going. You know, it definitely gets your bowels moving. Okay, so but it's not too much. It's nothing that you have to like. It's nothing that, at least the way I do it, it's not anything that I have to like not have any plans for, right? Be at home all day for. So yeah, if that's something that's been coming up for you, because like I said, parasites, I've been learning more and more. Like I've already been on it for, you know, a few years now, but the more it keeps coming up, it's like, yeah, I'm hella in that space right now myself of needing to, or really being guided to do a parasite cleanse. When I have been learning more about how much parasites affect your day-to-day, it's not just your gut health, but it's like all areas of your life. They can affect all that shit, the way you think, your cravings, all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, holy fuck. It's like when you get to that root cause of all that shit and you purge that, watch how your life changes. I'm just saying. So some of you need to do a parasite cleanse, and that can be an easy fix to a fuck ton of your challenges that you might have at this time. Okay. So next message I got was RBF. Okay. I know Virgos, especially, we're good at this. You know, it's difficult for us to sometimes, like, I can't speak for all of us, but I'm just saying in generalizing, you know, it can be difficult for us to, you know, have what they used to call in the medical field, a poker face, right? And that's in the event that you see something that would normally be like, what the fuck, you know, but to not scare the patient or to not make them feel, you know, bad about whatever their situation is, we would have to learn how to have a poker face, right? To be unaffected, right? Basically. But some of you are really in your RBF face, where it's just like, you're exuding the energy of don't fuck with me, don't talk to me, don't bother me, right? Don't approach me, I don't want to talk to you, right? Type of energy. So just be mindful that that can, I also got guarded and defensive. Okay. So it's, some of you may be feeling that energy, right? Of being like, you're being guarded, or you're defensive. This could be also people around you, okay, that are giving off this defensive type of energy. So just be mindful that if this is you exuding that energy of defensiveness, of guardedness, okay, that there is a potential that if you're not mindful, right, that you could block your blessings in some type of way, or block a blessing. It doesn't have to be obviously all of them, but it just essentially can create blockages. This is coming through. It feels like kind of like a warning, like a heads up type of energy. Okay. Something to just be mindful about, that you don't want to block your blessing by being so guarded. Okay. That, and it doesn't always have to be with love. This could definitely be with, other opportunities, work opportunities, collaborative opportunities, things like that. People that you're meeting, okay, that if you have a certain look on your face, and maybe they were going to approach you with a certain, offer, whatever, that you might miss it just off of, the energy you're exuding in that moment. Okay. So it's just something to be mindful about. All right. And then I got, third eye expansion. Okay. So some of you, your third eye, I'm hearing right now, is cracking open. Okay. I'm also hearing the cracking. Some of you, your third eye may be also, being decalcified at this time, but also cracking. Like some of you might be cracking open, meaning like it's like this, it's kind of like giving me this energy of like being like a clay mold, and then you're waking up to this new version. So all that clay mold is just breaking and cracking off, right? To kind of like basically emerge and expand into this new version that you're becoming. Okay. So take it as it applies. All right. And then the last message I got, which I feel like was also the closing message to, the channel messages, but that's it. That's enough for now. So that's it. That's enough for now. So some of you, that could be something else that you're, hearing, okay, or something to that effect. That's it. That's enough for now. However that applies to you. Okay. So now let's get into your reading, shall we? So let's see. So for the collective and my Virgos, Virgo gang. We're goofy. Just gotta deal with it. We're silly. So, all right. So from your spirit team, your guides, your benevolent ancestors, for the collective and my Virgos, what are they being guided to lock in this month, for the month of September 2025? What are they being guided to lock in on right now, for their highest and greatest good only and nothing less? So I literally already shuffled all my decks, but it's kind of like a force of habit to shuffle them on camera as well. So let's see, spirit for the collective and my Virgos, what are they being guided to lock in on for the month of September? Clear, accurate messages only, please. Thank you. The void. I know some of y'all, I've heard this recently too, in a video about this challenge that I decided I wanted to partake in. Oh, I fucking love it. The void. So some of you may be in this void energy right now as well, where things are just dark. Okay. Spirit is wanting you to lock in on this energy, because this is a period of where creativity, but also creations are born, right? This is where babies are born, right? The energy that babies are born is in the darkness, right? That is where everything happens, in the darkness. So some of you are really being asked at this time to embrace this period of darkness, or where it feels like it's dark. This is where you find the light. You can't get to the light until you go through the dark. You see what I'm saying? And for some of you, this is a reminder, okay? Something that you're already aware of, but maybe forgot. So for those of you that are like taking this dark period personal, and you're making it really like, what's going on? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. You're being asked right now to give yourself grace, because this void period is a period of giving you an opportunity, especially with the one here at the top. Okay. The number one, that's a new beginning, right? This is giving you an opportunity to start over for some of you, especially for things that have recently ended, or endings that are on the way. That is putting you in this energy of feeling like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's ahead. I don't know what step to take. You're being asked to embrace this period, because what this period is doing, little do you know, is putting you back in your power. Okay. For some of you, this dark period is reminding you how powerful you really are. Okay. And for some of you, that's necessary because it's going to increase your confidence. Okay. Especially for those of you that have been dealing with confidence issues, even myself, this period of darkness, of this void of, the dark, the unknown, right? This period of, I can't see what's ahead. I have no clue where to go. I can't see, right? That's typically what this is, right? Is this period of nighttime where it's like the sun isn't shining. I mean, not the sun, but the moon, right? The moon is dark, right? There's no moon, that the moonlight normally that would, like in this card, right? That would normally guide the path, or you could see a little bit of of the steps you're being guided to take. This is a period where that's not even available. Okay. So some of you, it feels like, are in this period and you're being asked to really embrace this time, okay, of darkness, of perceived darkness, of perceived invisibility, I'm hearing. Okay. Don't take it personal. Don't make it personal. Don't make it like it's a bad thing, because it's really not. Okay. You have the power to pick or choose how you define your experiences. Okay. So if you define this dark period as bad and all that, that's exactly how it's going to feel. So Spirit is really trying to highlight and let you know that this is a period to put you back in your power. This is a period to allow yourself to literally rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Okay. So let's see, Spirit, what else? Edify this message, please, for the collective and my Virgos. What are they being asked to lock in on at this time? And what I'm also getting to is that for those of you that are like really feeling stressed out about not knowing what the next step is, and as a Virgo, let me tell you, we love knowing what the plan is. We love having the details to be like, okay, so I can prepare, I want to organize, right? And it's all valid, right? But that's also sometimes a lesson in itself, is that there are going to be experiences and times where you don't need to know all that. It's maybe you're doing too much. You're trying to take on a job that is not yours. So this can be for some of you also, which that's a lesson I had to learn, but it's even more so for Virgos, because that's part of our traits that we embody, right? Is needing to know the plan, needing to know what the next step is, needing to know, what do I do next, type of thing, instead of just allowing it to reveal itself moment to moment to moment. Okay. So some of you, that is the lesson in itself right now, is why you're in this void period, is not only for what we had already discussed about that, but for some of you, it's also about learning how to be okay with not knowing, be okay with trusting, right? Beyond belief. We're going beyond belief here, because in every belief, there's a lie, right? We believe because we don't know. Okay. So this is going beyond that. The trusting in this process, trusting that even if things feel dark right now, even if I don't know where I'm being guided to go, I'm trusting that I'm powerful, right? I'm strong, and that the steps that I need to take, or that, the doors of opportunity that are for me, they will open, they will reveal themselves. Trusting that knowing. Okay. So come through, Spirit. Happy family, number 4. Okay. So for some of you, this could be an indication to lock in on your family dynamics. Okay. Maybe your expression, your appreciation, I'm hearing, about your family, of your family. Okay. However that applies. But this feels like a celebratory energy as well. Okay. Is that you're being asked to really, this void and happy family period it feels like it also an indication of really creating. This is a period of Spirit of giving you this time to create with the life you want. Okay. To really lock in on this period that feels dark, but it's giving you a chance to create what it is you want. While you feel like everything's falling apart and I'm in this really dark place, this is the perfect time to decide, okay, how do I want to come out of this? What do I want to experience on the other side of this? The same as like getting to the end of the tunnel, right? When you get to the end of the tunnel, what do you plan on doing? If you are able to trust and know that, you know what, this shit feels dark right now. I don't know how long this tunnel is. I don't know when I'm going to see, some type of hole of light letting me know that I'm going the right direction, but I'm going to keep going. And I just need to focus on, what am I going to do after I get out of this tunnel? What am I going to do? What am I going to celebrate? How am I going to celebrate? Who am I going to connect with? Right? What type of experiences do I want to have? This is where Spirit is asking you to let that be your point of focus at this time. Okay. Really focus on how you want things to shift in your favor, and start expressing that with the throat chakra here at the bottom. Okay. Some of you may definitely have people around you. It could be family as well that are envious, that may be jealous. I would highly recommend to not talk about, okay, not put out there what you're working on and all that stuff. If you do, make it real vague, real general, okay? Don't give no details, none of that. Like, it's not anybody's business. And that's an easy way for people to project negative intentions onto your goals, okay? And it's still, yeah, you can, say that, well, what's meant for me is going to be always going to be for me. That's true. However, the way energies and frequency works is whichever one is stronger is the one that's going to win, meaning the stronger magnet is what's going to pull the result. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I could have two magnets and decide that, well, I'm deciding that this is what I want, but if this magnet is stronger, which is someone else's negative projection against your desire, that's what's going to win. Okay, the stronger magnet is going to win. So you want to give yourself the opportunity to have the stronger magnet. Okay, and that can sometimes be by way of keeping your mouth shut when it comes to the things you're working on, when it comes to your plans and your goals, until they're solidified, until they're already, nobody can do anything about. All right, so I had to switch things up just a smidge. Okay, I'm sure y'all know how it goes. But yeah, so let's get back into this reading to get it done, son. Okay, so before my phone overheats again. But I did switch mics, so we should be good. All right, so as I was shuffling, I do have an ice pack right here, so just so y'all know, it's hot. It's so flipping hot today. So anyway, as I was shuffling to get more messages for you guys regarding what spirit or what your guides, your team is asking you to lock in on, we do have change in the wind at the bottom. Okay, card number 12. Okay, so that could be a number of significance as well. 3 is 333. So things are definitely changing, and it feels like spirit is putting you in this energy of letting you know, like, especially for those of you that have been asking for change, requesting change, this is your time. This is your time to choose what it is that you want. How do you want this to turn out? You may feel like you're in a dark period. How do you want things to change and turn in your favor? This is the time. Excuse me. Thank you, Spirit, for confirmation. This is a time to really tap into your throat chakra, okay? And really express what it is that you want, whether it's your creativity, whether it's your soul's expression. That is, I feel, huge for some of you, okay? But it does feel like whatever's on the other side of this, okay, is reasons to celebrate. Some of you maybe have been asking for, like, a relationship, or, asking for your family even to be more supportive of you, things like that. You have to first decide that I'm worthy of what it is that I want, that I've asked for, right? And then the universe matches that, okay? So you're being asked to really ask for what it is that you want, express that, okay? Whether it's through verbally, right? Or whether you're writing it, candle work, whatever it is that you choose, right? Visualization, whatever that expression is for you, that is what you're being asked to do. Really step into your power, remember who the fuck you are, okay? And really request what it is that you want, okay? Request that however this turns out, it's only going to benefit me. So even if you don't really know what's ahead, just to generalize it, just decide that whatever is ahead, it can only benefit me. Only good can come from this situation, okay? So let's see, Spirit, for the collective and my Virgos. What are you asking them? Where would they being guided to lock in on for the month of September 2025? What are they being asked to lock in on? And we do also have a new moon, I believe. No, full moon. We have a full moon coming up on the 7th, okay? So come through. Come through. I can't even make this shit up, y'all. I cannot make it up. I cannot make it up. Yeah, can y'all see what I say? New life. New life. Card number 39. Okay. Some of you are turning 39 this year. Some of you already are 39 this year. Like, okay. But a new life is ahead. Some of you are being asked, like I said, to lock in on the new life that you're creating for yourself, the new life that is available to you at this time. Okay. Like I said, reasons to celebrate. Some of you are stepping into, you're being ushered into a new life. Okay. And this is a time to really embody that, embrace that. If it is a family that you want, or if it's just, this type of celebration, what are you celebrating, right? Really lock in on that energy, right? What it is that you're creating, express that, okay? We do have chaos and conflict at the bottom, card 33. Like I just said, the threes. Some of you may be seeing 333. So this isn't to say that, what the fuck? Repeating confirmations. Thank you, Spirit. This is also card 39, the throat chakra. Okay, I just saw that. Throat chakra energy. With also two totally different decks. Okay, repeating confirmations. Like I said, your new life is here, collective. Okay, the 4 and the 1 represent reduced to a 5. Fives represent change. We already saw changes in the wind. Repeating confirmation. Do you see do you see where we're going with this? Okay, so like I said, chaos and conflict here. So things that is changing in your experience could definitely be creating what appears to be chaotic. Okay, and it could be also simply because your life is changing in such a way that other people maybe aren't expecting. Other people are just having to like deal with as it happens, as well as you, right? But it just feels like an energy of not everybody is going to be on board. Not everybody is going to be happy for the way your life is changing. And if y'all are anything like me, have been working for this for so long, have been like asking, requesting, doing, being confused. I feel like I've been in this type of energy for fucking years, to be completely honest with you. Like, it's been really just like, I'm still unclear. I'm still, I still don't know. I'm not certain with certain things, right? And that was maybe, I feel like now looking at like back at that, it's kind of like that was the universe's way of what I said earlier about learning how to embrace when you don't know, being okay with just, I don't know, being okay with that. You don't have to know everything. You're not meant to know everything. And if and when you are meant to know, you will. Trust me, you will, without a shadow of a doubt. But some of you, the unknown is on purpose to help you step into your power, to remember that I am protected even in the unknown. I am still supported even in the unknown. Even if I don't know what the next step is, that doesn't make me unworthy of my desires. Just because I don't always have all the answers, that's okay, right? You see the acceptance, all that restores your confidence. All that puts you back in your power. Thank you, Spirit. Confirmation. So like I said, some of you are really in this dark period because it's teaching you how to be comfortable in the unknown, how it's teaching you how to be comfortable with not always knowing what the next step is, but simultaneously, right, the balance, trusting that when it is time for you to make a move, when a door is ready to be opened, that it will reveal itself. You will know what to do, and you'll be able to step into that with confidence. You'll be able to respond with confidence. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, what else for the collective and my Virgos as it pertains to this spread? What are they being asked to, what are they being guided to lock in on? That, and see, and the reason why I keep correcting myself, some of you, because like I said, the channel message that came through earlier was course correction. Okay, so as I'm correcting myself, because that was initially the title, like not the title, but the kind of like the topic of this reading was, what are you being asked to lock in on at this time? And then I was guided to switch it to, what are you being guided to lock in on at this, this month? And so then after I start channeling the messages, course correction came through. So these, I feel like, are subtle ways that the universe is course correcting you, helping you trust your guidance, right? I trusted myself to make that shift. And now as I'm getting more into the reading, deeper into the reading, I'm starting to see how the channel messages are playing their part. Okay. So some of you are also in that space of playing your part. Okay. Let other people play their part in your movie. You are the main character of your movie. You are the director of your movie. But there is a role that everybody's playing in that movie. Just as innocent bystanders, right? The NPCs, whatever those might be, that don't have, it seems like, a significant role, they still have a role. See what I'm saying? So let's see. For the collective, what are they being guided to lock in on at this time? Clear, accurate messages. Their highest and greatest good only, nothing less. Came up face down, so I'm gonna leave it until I'm done. Yep. Whatever this period is, collective, it's about to shake your motherfucking world up. I'm gonna tell you that. Yep. Opportunities to create are afoot with the moon, that it tried to come out, but it didn't. Okay. The moon That represents what's hidden, what's underneath the surface. So some of you, like I said, you're in this dark period, right? With the moon energy. Things aren't revealed yet. Doesn't mean that it's not happening, right? That was the channel message that came through. I want to say on the last reading that I did for you guys. Okay. That there's things that you can't see. Okay. But you're definitely, things are being walked away from. It may feel like, you know, you're abandoning something or someone. Okay. You may feel like you don't have enough, but this is your opportunity to trust that anything that's falling away, it's making room for what you've asked for, this new life that you've requested. Okay. Spirit, what's the overall outcome message here for the collective? What's the overall message here? You can't get any no motherfucking clearer than that. Oh, me. Two of Wands at the bottom. This is the time to make the decision. What do you want? Are you going to stay stuck in your past? Are you going to stay stuck in what you used to know, what it used to be, what you've already lived, what you've already experienced, but you know you've outgrown, right? What are you going to do with this new life? Okay. That's wild. So now's the time to build. Okay. This could be definitely talking about working with others. Okay. With the Three of Pentacles, working with others, building your career, building your business. Okay. But this also is giving me energy of this is the time to really work, even if you don't have tribe, right? That you can actively co-create with your tribe. If you don't have them in the 3D, your tribe is also still your spirit team, meaning your higher self, your higher aspects, your benevolent spirit team, as in your spirit guides, your benevolent angels, your benevolent ancestors. Okay. That is, when I say spirit team, I'm talking about all those energies inclusive. They're all working behind the scenes in the ethers on your behalf for your highest and greatest benefit. Okay. So this is a time where some of you are really being asked to lock in on what you're working on, what it is that you're trying to build, this new life. Okay. What it is that you want to create, what it is that you want to be known in the world for, what kind of mark you want to make on the planet. Okay. Because that's what's coming in. So if things are falling apart right now, it's falling apart, like I said earlier, to fall together. Okay. So if things are feeling like, you know, I don't know what's going on, just know that there's a wealth of opportunities that are unlocking for you. Okay. The well, that speaks of opportunities, growth, creativity. Okay. A period of creation, but also a space of creation. Okay. So that's what it feels like. Again, you guys are being asked to lock in on this energy. Allow yourself to see shift your perspective to see how is this that feels so challenging? How is this really helping me? How is this really benefiting me? What is this really preparing me for? Right? How is this really, this perceived challenge? How is this really supporting me to be able to handle what's ahead? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you get promoted for a new job, right? And even though you've maybe been working for the company itself for years, right? But you're switching positions. You've already mastered your previous role that you've been in all this time, right? But now, because the universe, aka your bosses, right, have been seeing you do so well, and they're like, they're ready for the next level. They're ready for the upgrade, right? They want, they have new goals. They want to, pay off some debt or maybe buy a house. They want to travel, and that requires more resources, right? So it's like, okay, you're asking for an upgrade now. You're asking for a promotion. So this is how Spirit is giving it to you. You've already shown that you're able to handle the role you've already been in, but now this is time for the upgrade. And every upgrade requires new training. It requires new challenges to test you, not test you like, to see if you're good enough, but more so test you to see, one, are you really ready for what you're asking for? Two, do you really want what you're asking for? Because not everybody's aware. We're not always, privy to the type of sacrifices that's going to be required to take on this new role, right? Because when you become, let's say, go from a regular worker to a manager, managers, that requires a whole different level of responsibility typically, right? That can easily be a schedule change, meaning you go from working maybe 3 days a week to 7 days a week, right? Are you willing to give up that time? Are you willing to give up that time with your family or your spouse, right? It may require more travel. Are you willing to give up, things that you do every month, or, meetups that you have with your friends or family every weekend or something like that, to now be able having to travel for work all the time? You see what I'm saying? Are you willing to give up whatever is being, requested or required to take on this new role, to take on this new position? Okay. So apply that as it resonates. But there is, like I said, this energy of, with the Eight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, this energy of walking away. This is now, you're being asked to lock in on being prepared to leave behind whatever is required to step into the new. Okay. You may feel like whatever is ending or whatever you're being asked to walk away from, that could also be what the tower represents. The tower does not always have to be negative. It doesn't always have to be your life is going to fall apart, right? It may feel like that sometimes, but that's not always the case. Sometimes when you get a new promotion, for like I said, for example, that you weren't expecting, that can be a tower. Okay, meaning that it's shaking up your world. Your life is changing in a way. Well, we already channeled that message earlier. Things will not be the same after this. And here's the overall message here. The outcome message is the death card. Okay, Scorpio energy and Scorpio energy. I just thought about that tower, double Scorpio, repeating confirmations. Thank you, Spirit. You see what I'm saying? So the confirmations are going to repeat themselves in preparation, letting you know, be prepared to walk away. Be prepared to, you know what I'm saying? Leave your, whatever you've invested. It's not a loss. Some of you may be taking it as a loss with the Five of Pentacles here, but this is the change that some of you, this is what's required to step into this new life, okay, to be able to have reasons to celebrate. So yeah, there may be some chaos, there may be some conflict, because that's what comes with the territory of having a new life, of, again, things never being the same again, things changing permanently. Okay, that doesn't always have to be bad, right? But again, right underneath chaos and conflict, like I said, changes in the wind, it's right here. Okay, but we also have regeneration, okay, which means that whatever has died, whatever has left, it's also being restored, meaning that the universe is prepared to restore whatever it is you feel like you've lost. So even if it's a person, even if it's like a sudden death or something like that that you're not expecting, I'm not projecting that, but that is inevitable. Let's just keep it at that. Wow, right? That's death. Death is inevitable, but it's not just death physically, although it could be death metaphorically, things changing, things ending, and never going back to the way it was. Okay, that is what you're being prepared for at this time. You're being prepared to lock in and accept that there are going to be things that are changing. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm just doing my best to be prepared and trusting, right? Setting out the intention, sending out the energy that I trust that whatever is changing in my life, however this reading may affect me in my own experience, that it'll only benefit me. It'll only be for my highest and greatest good, and I won't have to worry. Whatever is leaving will be replaced with something better. Okay, that is what you have to declare over your own life. Okay, don't let a reading scare you into thinking that, oh, well, if this tower is happening, then it must be bad and my life is going to fall apart, and oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? We don't fearmonger over here. We don't do that. Okay, this channel does not do that. It's just the awareness that this 3D realm requires duality. That's just one of the facts of this life. There's always duality. There's always two ends, at least two ends of the spectrum. Okay, top and the bottom, high to low, hot, cold, left to right. See what I'm saying? Duality. So for every challenge or negative perception, there's also a positive perception you can choose to consider. You can choose to define this experience with. And that's what some of you are really being asked to do at this time. Okay, allow yourself to see how maybe whatever chaos and conflict that you're experiencing or that you feel is being experienced, how is that really preparing you for what you're asking for? You see what I'm saying? If you can't barely, let's say as a regular cashier or regular worker person, cashier, let's say, if you can't deal with regular customers that are like, this was priced at this price and you're charging me this, blah, blah, blah. If you can't deal with a regular type of, hiccup in a situation like that, how do you expect to be a manager? Which, those type of conversations go way deeper and they become way more intense because, that's what comes with the role, right? So again, this is giving you an opportunity to really decide what it is that you want to build. Are you ready for how what you're requesting is going to shake your world up? Okay. And it's up to you to decide if that's a positive or negative thing. It's all, based on how you choose to look at it. Okay. So let's keep going. Well, let's clarify this energy, shall we? But again, the choice is yours. Like I said, Two of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. So this is Spirit saying you can always choose to stay where you are. But when your life doesn't change, or things aren't happening the way that they could, all you can do is reflect on, well, what did I choose? What did I choose to try to think I could take this with me when Spirit kept telling me it can't come, they can't come, it can't go, right? And I just chose to ignore it, right? So just to keep in mind that every decision, as well as no decision is all, is still a decision, okay? Just like no is a complete sentence, okay? Or no response is also a response, okay? So it's just really time to really lock in on what it is you're being willing to walk away from. What are you willing to sacrifice for this new life? Because you have, support here. You have reasons to celebrate. You have things to be happy for. That's on its way to you. That's already aligning to you now. That's why Spirit is saying this is the time to lock the fuck in. Lock in on what it is that you're building, what it is that you're creating. Okay? Even if that makes it seem like I'm gonna be in lack though. That's again the trusting that everything is only gonna benefit me. That's all temporary. Anything that we feel like is a loss can only be replaced with something better if you choose that, if you decide that that's what's possible for me. But because the universe is always saying yes, the universe only gives us 3 answers: yes, not right now, or there's something better. Okay, but none of it's a no. So you get to choose on what you focus on. What are you going to pursue, right? Staying the same, or letting life change in a positive and beneficial way. Okay, because for some of you, what I'm also getting here is things are changing regardless. Okay, some of you, things are changing regardless. You're stepping into a new life whether you like it or not. And Spirit is doing its best to prepare you. Your spirit team and your guides are doing their best to prepare you to decide, okay, this is going to happen no matter what. So you're given an opportunity right now to really lock in on how you want to be affected after this is over, after the dust settles. What do you want to experience on the other side of that? How do you want to rebuild? Okay, so let's see. Spirit, clarify the 3 of Pentacles. Why is it here, please, for the collective? Why is the 3 of Pentacles here? The 10 of Cups almost came out, y'all. I saw it. The 10 of Cups almost came out. So it didn't, but it tried. So something to keep in mind, okay? Like this card tried to come out, 2 of Cups. So for some of you, this would definitely be a connection, okay? Maybe this is, like I said, something you're not seeing, a new partnership that's coming about, okay? So some of you could be on the tail end or have just recently ended a relationship of some sort, a partnership, a union, whatever that is. But there's a new one that's trying to come to you, one that's going to actually make you happy, one that you could actually build with, grow with, okay? Even maybe share finances with and grow together, okay? Spirit, clarify the 3 of Pentacles. Very accurate messages only, please. Why is that here? For what the collective is being guided to lock in on. Mother Lows. I just saw the Emperor, okay? So some of you, this is your divine counterpart. If you're a female watching this, it could definitely be a divine counterpart. Others of you, this is your own masculine energy. Whether you're a female or not, if it's not a person, it's a that can definitely represent you stepping into your boss energy. For me, my Aries, because I follow Vedic astrology mostly now, my North Node is in Aries. So for me, that's boss energy. That's being an entrepreneur. That's really stepping into, that version of me that is what I want to, who I envision myself being, a business owner that's successful, that's established, that's stable, right? Powerful in my own authority and sovereignty, right? So clarifying the 3 of Pentacles, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So this is about, the energy of giving and receiving. What do you want to put out into the world to receive what it is you're asking for? Really getting clear about what that is. Or at least have an idea that, this is what I want to offer. If I could think of one thing that's really true and authentic to me, what is one thing that I would want to give to the world at this time? Okay. What do I want to give in order to receive? What am I willing to give in order to receive what it is I'm asking for? Okay. But this is also talking about divine support. Okay. Meaning that if you're willing to take this risk and choose to leave your past behind and go towards your new life, right? The universe is supporting you, meaning that whatever it is that you think you're leaving behind, the universe is already ready to give you more. It's ready to match you, to match your efforts. Okay. You just have to trust that that's the blind faith here, right? That you're being asked to really lock in on and decide that, I could see that there's a possibility of something better on the other side. Let this reading, if you need, be a confirmation, because some people are visual learners. So some people, that's why I still use cards. Excuse me. Thank you, Spirit. Some people resonate more with being able to visually see, what's happening, to see what's possible, right? Some people can't, have a hard time doing that mentally. So for some of you, by having the visualization that, oh shit, this is the energy available, a whole new life, a happy family, well shit, if that's possible for me, if that's the energy available to me that I can choose, then shit, I want that. I'm willing to take that risk to, give you my perceived challenges, give you the old stuff to replace it with something better. Hell yeah. Okay. So some of you are really being asked to lock in on the energy. What does that look like for you? What is that for you? Okay. Spirit, clarify the Tower, please. Why is it here for the collective? My Virgos. Ooh. 9 of Wands. Okay, so this is about persistence. This is, I feel like, that guarded energy that I picked up on with the channel messages before we even started. Okay, that guarded energy. It feels like for some of you, it's like this tower, whatever this tower represents for you, it's gonna essentially kind of like break your guard in a sense, not in a negative way, not like where you're just not protected. I don't mean in that sense, but I mean it's like if you were defensive about something or kind of like on guard about something, maybe about what's happening, what's changing for you, it's like spirit is pushing you through and letting you know you're supported. Okay, so it's like that's what it feels like. I'm hearing also the levee breaking. Okay, so for some of you that could be like with your emotions or your divine spark. I'm hearing. Okay, the levee is breaking, so that could be significant to somebody. But this is also an energy of resilience. Okay, not letting things that are appearing to be falling apart in your life, not letting it stop you, not letting it break you down. That's again what some of you are being asked to lock in on at this time as well, or being guided to lock in on, is your resilience, your persistence, and realizing how close you really are to what it is that you asked for. Okay, but you have to be willing to make the choice, to decide, right? To decide that I'm gonna step into my power. I'm choosing that this is the life that I want. And I'm just, I'm generalizing it, but I'm gonna let the universe handle all the small details that I don't need to worry about, right? So let's keep going. Why is the well here? Why is the well here? The well is clarified by the 5 of Wands. This is that case, same type of chaos and conflict energy. Okay, 5s. We already talked about the 5 earlier with the 4 and the 1, and here we go with the 5. Okay, 5s represent change again. So this is, like I said, there's a well of opportunity to create the life that you want. There's an opportunity here as well. What I'm getting is to transmute perceived challenges, perceived chaos, conflict, competition. There's an opportunity here to transmute that energy into fuel, to fuel your passions, to fuel your fire. Okay, to help turn that energy, transmute it from something negative into something that's beneficial, right? It's kind of like the same, that idea of people that throw the stones, right? Instead of throwing the stones back, they build a wall. You see what I'm saying? So some of you are being asked to use your resources in that way wisely, okay? Especially when you have people that are trying to throw stones at you, right? When they don't know what's going on, they don't know that you're in the darkness right now. They don't know that you really don't even know what's happening, right? At least to a degree. This is an opportunity to channel that energy into something positive, to transmute it. It's giving me temperance energy, okay? That's temperance vibes, pouring, alchemizing. And that creates infinity, right? Alchemizing, pouring one cup into the other, right? And it's so funny because as a kid, real quick, I remember sitting in, when my cousin and I used to go out to eat with my grandma, like after church and stuff like that. We used to go eat breakfast or whatever. And he taught me how if you shake one of those little creamers, how you shake it really fast or whatever, it turns into like butter or something like that, right? And so, that's giving me that energy of alchemizing, turning water into wine type of thing, right? But instead of that, turning your perceived challenges into opportunities, right? Seeing how are these challenges actually supporting me? How are they actually helping me grow, right? Just what we were talking about with the training, because that's also what this card represents as well, is the conflict that you're experiencing is just helping you. It's part of the job, right? Just like the challenges you experience when you're being promoted to a new position, or even your training, right? The training you do on a computer or whatever, maybe any tests that you have to take, those are more challenging, right? That's on purpose to help you use your mind, to help you be prepared and be supported for the role you're about to take on. Okay, so like I said, take this as it applies, but whether it's actually speaking about a job or you're just speaking about those of us that are employed by the divine, okay, this is what this energy is as well, is allowing yourself to learn how your perceived challenges are simply a part of the job. So you don't need to take it personal, because it's not. We already talked about that too. Thank you, Spirit. Everything starts spiritually and energetically before it's experienced physically and in 3D. Okay, so take it as it applies. Okay, so let's see. Spirit, clarify the 8 of Cups. Why is that here, please? Why is this here for the collective? Clarify the Five of Pentacles. Clarify the Five of Pentacles, please. Okay. So, clarifying the Eight of Cups, we have the Page of Cups. Okay. So, what I'm getting here is you're essentially walking away to pursue your dreams. Some of you are really being asked to lock in on allowing yourself to leave things that don't serve you, because that's also what the Eight of Cups represents, is leaving behind things that maybe you invested in, whether it's time, energy, effort, relationships, job, environment, doesn't matter. That's what the Eight of Cups, the cups represent, is the emotional, investment that you've given something or you've given to a person. Okay. But being optimistic, right, with the page, being optimistic that in my walking away from this, in my willingness to choose, right, to leave the old life behind and step into a new and go towards having the trust that me doing this, making this sacrifice, right, of leaving all these cups and investments behind, that it's only going to bring in what I want, right, bringing my dreams down to reality. That's why his feet are up there, right? It's about bringing, your higher self, your creativity down into reality. That's why the pig is up there, right? It's like, I won't believe it till pigs fly, right? This is, well, pigs are flying now. What you gonna do now? You see what I'm saying? So this is, like I said, an opportunity to really lock in on, deciding that whatever I'm gonna walk away from, I'm completely optimistic and trusting that only better can come in its place. Period. That this is only making room for my dreams. This is only making room for the things that I'm creating. Okay. Because energetically, if you clear, right, like even clearing your space creates more mental clarity, because as within, so without. So if your space is cluttered and full of a bunch of stuff, that's just a clear indication of what you got going on up here. Okay. So clarifying the Five of Pentacles is the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. So, in leaving anything behind, there's always a new opportunity. Letting what feels like you're lacking, let that spark your inspiration. Let that be a new beginning. So even if you feel like, well, I have to leave all my stuff in order to move to another country, let that fuel your fire. Let that give you the motivation, inspiration that, what, instead of me viewing all the things that I'm giving up or leaving behind as a loss, let me instead view this as, this is only opening up for me to start over. This is only opening up, giving me a new spark that I didn't have before. Let me, this is only opening up an opportunity that maybe never would have come had this not happened the way it did. You see what I'm saying? There's always a polar opposite to how you can choose to view your experiences. So some of you are really being asked to lock in on choosing the higher perspective here. Okay. Even if that feels uncomfortable, that feels different, that feels, woo woo to some people, I don't give a fuck, because I've already proven, my experiences has already proven to me that that's my choice and that it benefits me when I do that. When I can, it benefits me, right? And sometimes, depending on what it is, it does require a bit more effort, but the effort is always worth it. The effort always pays off. So that's, again, what you put out does come back, right? And that's why it's a 6, the equal exchange. You give me 3, I'll give you 3, right? But again, that's just a matter of how you choose to view it. Okay, so let's see. Spirit, clarify the death. Why is that here for the collective? Clear accurate messages, please. Wow. So we have the Knight of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune. Some of you, this is new love. Okay. Some of you maybe never thought you would date again. Some of you are like maybe getting a divorce after years of marriage and feeling like, at this age, I'll never find someone again. That's not true. That's a whole lie. That's a whole lie. Some of you, things happen the way it did, or you may feel like you're in the dark about something because Spirit has a whole, like, something else lined up for you that you're not even aware of. Some of you, this was whatever is closing out for you, whatever is changing for you, is a major cycle that is closing, and it's preparing you for one that's actually way better. It's way more beneficial. That is actually in alignment with what your heart wants, what your heart has been asking for. That may be showing up through another person, or it's giving you, again, opportunity, right, to go towards what your heart desires. Some of you, I'm getting, has put your own dreams on hold for far too long. And that's why whatever is falling apart, or whatever you're being kind of like maybe forced for some of you, or really being strongly guided to walk away from, however that translates, it's only because Spirit knows what you've been sacrificing. It knows what you have already given up in place of your dreams, in place of your soul's expression. And now Spirit is like putting you in a position where it's like forcing you to choose yourself at this time. And as uncomfortable as that might be, it's like it's required, period. Okay. Four of Pentacles, like reasons to, oh, that's interesting. The Four of Cups is at the bottom and the Four of Pentacles is at the top. So that's like, this may feel disappointing, right? But you know what's on the other side of this. So this is about saving money, save, your resources, right? Things are changing in a major way. Divine timing is at play here though as well. That's also something to keep in mind. And that's also indicative with this card here, the TikTok, okay? The TikTok with the Wheel of Fortune, both of those speak of divine timing being at play. So don't put too much emphasis on how long something is taking. It's playing out the way it needs to. You just need to continue to trust that even in your perceived darkness, even in the perceived unknown, right, that everything is unfolding in perfect and divine ways, and you're going to have multiple reasons to celebrate, okay? Like you're going to have, you're preparing yourself, you're positioning yourself for this new life, okay? Some of you, this is again confirmation. You've already maybe gotten these inklings before. Oh my gosh, here we go. You've already gotten these inklings before, but maybe you just need, like even for me, when I was still in this process of restoring, trusting myself, I would rely on cards or readings sometimes, or different synchronicities that I would ask to show me in these increments, or show me the specific type of sign to let me know that I can trust my own guidance. And after you get to the point where you continue to see those things, to where you're like, okay, I am on point. I can trust myself. I'm proving to myself that my words and my requests are met. Therefore, that shows me my words hold power, right? My words hold power, and all I need to do is communicate. I just need to communicate clearly and pure intently, right? From a pure intended place. And that's when things change. You get what your heart desires, and maybe it comes, for some of you, comes through another person, okay? But again, it's the universe's timing that's at play here, not yours, okay? So that's powerful. All right, so let's wrap with what's a card of advice, Spirit, for the collective and my Virgos that they can use right now. They can use for the month of September to support them and what they're being guided to lock in on. What is some guidance or advice to support them in locking in? Anything else? Okay, so one flipped over, and that's presence. So it's about being in the present moment, okay? That's all you really have anyway. The past, is already done, right? You already experienced that, right? It's like when you walk away from the movie, the past it's already over, right? Future hasn't happened yet. So all you really have now is the present moment. And at the bottom, break free, soar, focus, listen. Oh shit, patience. You see what I'm saying? It's like the universe is talking. It always does, okay? So this is about really allowing yourself to listen to what you're being guided to do this time in order to help yourself soar, okay? And the best thing you can do at this time is really allow yourself to be present. Be in the present moment as often as you can. Yes, it's a practice, but everything you've ever gotten good at took just that practice, right? Make sure it's still on. Yes. So presence says you're being asked to spend more time in the present moment, to stop ruminating about the past or longing for the future. Your life is happening right now. And when you're not present for it, you miss all of its beauty, okay? That's where sometimes when you're too focused on what's been, or what you have to walk away from, or what you feel is lost, that is when you miss out on what you really could be celebrating. What, the newness that's trying to come into your experience that you don't even see coming, that you aren't even expecting because you can't see it yet. You're not supposed to, okay? That's why the presence is so important, okay? So one more, we're gonna wrap with a self-esteem card. So I don't use these too often, but I'm all about self-development and, really being in alignment with our most truest, authentic, highest versions that we could possibly access, okay? If that's what you want. But for me, that is part of my path. That is, as a life path 7, that's what the fuck we do, right? We're always, looking to seek the truth and refine the truth, get clear on the truth, right? not only about everything else outside of us, but ourself as well. So let's see, Spirit for the collective and my Virgos. What is a message that can help them the most during this lock-in? Okay, so the one that came out was card number 26. Make peace with your past and reprogram how you allow it to define you. Didn't we talk about this earlier, collective? Didn't we talk about that earlier? We did. We did. I know we did. You can rewind it if you need to, but we did. You get to choose how you allow, this is a time, what I'm also getting here, collective, is this is giving you all this that's taking place is giving you an opportunity to respond differently. And that's also a easy telltale sign that you are moving into a new timeline, or that you are embodying a new version of yourself, is because you allow yourself to observe, right? Be self-aware of how you're responding differently to old challenges. Maybe the way, like for example, when a car cuts you off, right? Maybe you used to, speed up and cut them off and put up the middle finger or something like that. And now you're just like, they must be having a bad day. I'm grateful that I don't got nothing to be rushing for. Go ahead, get a ticket, You're responding to things differently. That's an easy way to let you know that you're changing, because it happens energetically first. That's the only way change is created. It has to happen spiritually and energetically before it can show up physically. So you're really being, guided at this time to not let your past define you. Everyone has a story. Everyone has past experiences that were meant to mold and shape them, to teach them, right? But you don't have to let that be the reason that you don't believe in what's possible for you, or the reason you don't pursue something, even if you have passed what we would call failures, right? That's just, again, how you choose to look at it. I don't really define anything as a failure, even if it didn't work out. If I learn shit from it, which I always allow myself to learn as much as I can from any situation, because to me, it's like not only doing the homework, but I do the homework and extra credit, right? So that way, I not only cover everything that it was meant to teach me, but I cover that and then some, just in case I missed anything, right? That's the extra credit. So again, if you learn something from it, it's not a failure. That's just, again, how you choose to define it. And me personally, I feel like if I choose to identify something as a failure, that just makes me feel worse. It makes me feel inadequate. It makes me feel all these things that I don't need to feel unless I choose it. And to me, that doesn't benefit me. Therefore, why do I need to choose that? It's available, but I could also choose that. How is this helping me? What is this trying to teach me? How is this actually trying to strengthen me and make me stronger and put me more in my power, and help me remember more of who I am at the core, right? So it's about how do you define your experiences, right? So don't let the negative things, or the things that feel painful, right, shape who you are in a negative way. Don't let yourself make you think that that's all that you're destined for. That's all that's available to you. And that's not true. That's simply not true. But as a human, as a spirit having a human experience, we're meant to experience all the range of emotions. We're meant to experience death, failure, perceived, right? Death, failure, success, joy, sadness, pain. We're meant to experience the range of all those things, right? That's essentially what the rainbow is. The range of all the colors. You're meant to experience all those things, but none of that is who you are. Your experiences are not you. They're just something that you were able to observe, and you allow the emotion, right, which is energy and motion, you allowed yourself to feel those things, but that's not who you are. Okay. So at the bottom, 53, interesting. So 53 is an 8, 26 is an 8. We already talked about the 8s earlier. Okay. So that may be significant to some of you. I know it's just so bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I haven't figured, I know it's when I'm channeling, but I haven't figured out exactly what makes it so itchy the way it is. It's annoying. So anyway, stop second guessing yourself because someone else challenges your priorities, goals, or choices. Stand by your convictions. You do not need their approval. Come through, spirit. Come through. Like I said earlier, no fucking way. No way. So I set the deck down, right? And this card slid from the top of the deck. Guess what number this card is, y'all? You can't probably see it. 39. How we get card 39 in 3 different decks? 3 different decks. Card 39 has come out. 39, throat chakra card, 39 at the bottom of that deck, and 39 on this one. I'm going to read that one too, but back to the point. So this card 53, 26, 88. Okay, like I said, repeating confirmations. Thank you, Spirit. Stop second guessing yourself because someone else challenges your priorities. That's again what for some of you, why I wanted to touch back on this card. That could be also what this Five of Wands energy is about, is that you're going to have people that are maybe coming against you, okay, that are maybe not liking the changes that you're making, because maybe for some of you, you're creating the tower. For some of you, that tower is, I'm choosing myself, I'm choosing my happiness, I'm choosing this new life, and that can make other people experience a tower. And it's not to say that you don't care or that you did it on purpose, but it's like, I need to stand 10 toes on what it is that I want. It's time for me to pursue my dreams. I've done enough, and I'm so close to letting go of what it doesn't serve me. I'm too close to having this new life that I know I've been working for, and now I'm choosing it. And guess what? Not everybody's gonna like that. Okay, period. Some people may be trying to compete with you because they feel like you're leaving them behind. It doesn't matter. You don't need their approval, period. You just need to choose yourself, okay? So, card 39, this said the third 39, 333. We talked about that earlier, y'all. 3-3, like repeating confirmations. Are you hiding yourself away and limiting your experiences? Step out of your shadows and make this life count. Okay? Some of y'all have been limiting yourself too far, too long because of other people. And that could be why maybe things are falling apart, or maybe you're guided to make things fall apart in a sense, to create a tower, you know, by shaking things up in a major way that's affecting other people, obviously. Not because, like I said, you're trying to hurt someone or you're trying to just fuck their life up, but because you know that it's time. For some of you, your soul is calling you in such a way that you can't ignore it anymore. Okay? You're being asked literally to step out of your shadows and make this life count. And for some of you, that is what's required. That's how you do it, is making this life count, is by doing something that you've never done before, maybe in a way you've never done it. And, you know, it's time to break free. It's time to choose yourself, break free so you can soar. Okay? So, I'm excited for y'all, collective. I'm excited for us. Okay? I'm excited for us. Because I know the work I've been doing behind the scenes, and man, challenging is a mother-loving understatement in a major way. So if you know, you know. I can't speak for everybody else, and that's not my job, right? But it is to deliver these messages, and we did that. So I'm grateful if you have stuck around this long. Feel free to drop a Virgo emoji in the comments if you are a Virgo, or if you resonated with this reading. I trust that it reaches those that it's meant to. And if you did enjoy it, if it did resonate, I'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, you know what to do. I love you all so much. And until next time, out.